Morning internet, and welcome back to the workshop. Okay, so what I've done on the top of this one is I've drawn a few arrows just to give you an impression of where the end gaps on the piston rings should be, because as I'm sure you're aware, the piston rings have a little gap in them. So that's so you can fit them. Right, now the end gaps, you can't put them all together down the side, because if you put the end gaps together, combustion gases would leak down and oil would leak up. So what they do is you space those gaps out around the circumference of the piston so that no two gaps are in the same place. Okay, as you can see, we've got 5 piston rings. We've got our oil control ring, which is a 3-piece ring, which goes in the bottom groove of the piston there. And we've got 2 compression rings. Now those 2 compression rings are very different. They're different in shape. The top compression ring has a chamfer on the inside edge. What I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and show you this on camera. This is very, very difficult to see. So I'll just zoom in. I'll try and show you this on camera. Almost impossible. Right, okay. Plan B. Okay, let me see that silver line there is the chamfer. Now that chamfer's on the top ring and it goes uppermost. Okay, you must get these right way around, otherwise you'll lose compression and you'll burn oil. So it's important that that chamfer goes uppermost on the top ring. Now the second piston ring has a mark on it. If you can make that out, it is the letter R. There we go. Okay, that letter R has to go uppermost. Okay, first things first, we put our oil control ring on, like so. And then we have our 2 side rails that go with it. One above and one below. We'll put the bottom one on first. That's one. That's dropped into the top groove. That's dropped into the top groove. Needs to be in bottom groove. Very, very, very fiddly this. Gently ease it in. And there you have it. So I'll give you a zoom on that. You can see. Okay, there you go. You can see the upper ring, the lower ring and the centre ring sat in the bottom groove. Now we want that ring in next, which is the one with the R on it. Stuck in that groove. This is so incredibly difficult. You need a lot of patience, and you need That's set in top groove, so I've just got a screwdriver and ease it out of that top groove. It's not playing, is it? There we go. That's that one in. Like so. So now we have the top one with the chamfer uppermost. And that goes in the top groove. That's a little bit easier, that one. And there you have it. We've got our 3 piston rings all installed. I'll just get you a bit some focus on there. There we go. Our 3 piston rings all installed. Well, 5 actually. There's 3 grooves, 5 rings. You've got your 3-piece oil control ring, your secondary compression ring, and your primary compression ring. There we go. We'll come to the arrows and fitting them in a minute. What I'm going to do first is I'm just going to have 5 minutes, just put 5 minutes on camera while I put all these other rings on these other pistons. Okay, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we get the end gaps right and how we install it into the cylinder barrel. Now then, we've got all these rings on here, so what we need to do now is sort out these end gaps. As you can see, we have an end gap. So what we need to do is we need to put that end gap there, and the second piston ring end gap needs to be opposite it like that. So as you can see on the camera, the second ring piston end gap is there. The top ring end gap is there. Now as regards this oil scraper, the oil scraper has 3 rings. So as you can see, I've put an arrow there, an arrow there. So the bottom ring gap will be there, the top ring gap will be there, and the centre, which is like an expander band, will go opposite at this side. So when all that's there in place, we can loop this up and pop it into the barrel. So I'll get these end gaps right, back in a mo. We've got our end gaps in the right place for our piston rings. So now all we need to do is, using a piston ring compressor, is pop the piston in the hole. Right, this is number 1 piston, but you'll notice that this barrel is upside down, so number 1 piston now is on the right. So number 1 piston goes in number 1 cylinder. So first things first, we need to oil it. Just a little bit of oil, don't want to blather it too much. Right, piston ring compressor. Upside down, I do apologise. It's moved, the ring has moved. As has that one. Problems you have. It's called sausage finger syndrome for those out there that are thinking about it. That over there. Put the key in and turn. Nope, that's moved all the rings. Right, start again. It's a faff. That in there. Key in. Turn it. Struggling to do this. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say box to that one. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. Right. I'm faffing. Start again. Let's oil the cylinder. Plenty of oil in the cylinder. We've got our ring end gaps correct. That is the front. That is the front. Do it the old-fashioned way. Screwdriver. one's in. Right, easy as that. Okay, much easier. There we are. Right, oil. Oil. Make sure arrow goes to the right side. Right, let's loop 3 and 4 up. Plenty of oil. Plenty of lube on it. You can't beat plenty of lube on it. Can I say that on internet live? I don't know. Said it, yeah. Too late to worry about it now, it's said. Now for those of you out there that are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about these kind of things, you'll notice I've not lubed the gudgeon pin or the small end, but I will, however, be lubing those before we close the crankcases. Copious, copious, copious amounts of oil. And also I'll be showing you how to prime up the oil pump to make sure there's oil pressure in the engine before we even turn the engine. There we go, that's all 4 in. We're there. So, back in 2 minutes, we'll just get set up to drop all this lot together.